What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Taylor Hinton Speaks His Mind, the number one online health and fitness podcast in the world. And it has been, I think, like a couple weeks since I've done a pod. Sorry, we haven't had any videos come in for a little bit with our clients. They've been crushing it. We do have a few more videos that are in right now. This is Form Friday, where I review the Lift and Learn community page for our clients and go over all of their technique, making sure that everything's looking good, giving them some feedback, and then they get to watch this either live, so you can see people pop on right now, or they can just come back and watch it later in the resource section of their app. It's all part of our fitness coaching program that we provide for our clients. This specific component of the program helps bridge the gap between in-person training, which are typically people who just like to work out and then got some certification so they could coach people. But the in-person stuff, of course, misses the daily accountability, the nutrition, the progressions over time, and the lifelong habits that you're learning so that you can do this by yourself one day. Personal trainers count repetitions and create a program for you and then hop around to different machines, just trying to get you a good sweat so that you have that endorphin rush and you feel good. And then you become semi addicted to just coming to see that trainer. It's not actually moving you forward in the way that you hope to, because if you don't have the nutrition down, if your habits suck outside of the 1 hour that you get with your trainer every week, then you're not really going to make a whole lot of progress. So that's how we bridge the one gap that there is between in person and online. One thing that I just finished reviewing with one of my clients, or I just went over in their review right before this call actually, is how if this program is treated just as a fitness journey, like the purpose of this is to get from point A to point B in a fitness journey, the likelihood that they will actually stick with it and see it all the way through, because for most people, it's going to take about a year or longer to get the results that they want. Because genuinely, if you're going to hire an online trainer, in my personal opinion, then you probably need more time than you think. You probably need about a year, sometimes more, to get the results that you want. Because if you're invested enough to pay someone to help you with making a really significant change, that change is probably really important to you. That change is probably something that you can't do by yourself. And that change means that it's probably going to take more than just a few months to get there, right? If it was as easy as getting to where you want to go within 3 to 6 months, you probably wouldn't need to hire a coach. So, with all that being said, treating at least my or our fitness program with Hinton Nation as just a quote unquote fitness journey is doing yourself a disservice. If you treat this more like a personal development journey that results in having the body of your dreams, then you will 100% get everything that you want out of this and more. So, with that being said, and no more delays, we are going to open up our Lift and Learn community page. We're going to go through these exercises together and see what we got. Okay, so Maddie, good to see Maddie back. You know what's so cool is last time I saw Maddie posting one of these videos, she looked completely different. Now she's got some muscle, she's leaner, she's way more toned, she's way stronger. Um, and unfortunately, she's just had a bit of an injury that's going to set her back a little bit. So it's good that we got these videos in now so she can digest this and then apply this when she is feeling a little bit better. When you get hurt, it doesn't mean that you stop all things altogether. It just means you have to work around that injury. Like there's some injuries that are going to be more centralized and they'll impact things greater, like spine and neck. Head, obviously, you can't train through a head injury. That's just, you need to relax and recover if you have a concussion, obviously. And when you have a neck or spine thing, that can be a pain in the ass too. But you can still work around some of that stuff depending on the severity of that injury. If it's anything other than neck, spine, head, you probably can still push pretty damn hard with other body parts with just a little bit of changes. Like literally, if you break your wrist, I do not want to hear that you can't work out. Yeah, you're going to be in a lot of pain, especially in the first few days. Take your Advil. You have a cast on. Don't do pushing, pulling exercises with a broken hand. You can still do single arm dumbbell press. I literally had a client who lost 40, 50, 60 pounds. It was a couple of years ago at this point, and she broke her wrist halfway through the program. And she was sending me videos of doing single arm incline dumbbell press and single arm rows and doing leg press instead of back squats because she couldn't hold the bar with her broken hand. Like there's workarounds, everybody. So don't put yourself in this box of either can or can't, all or nothing. It's just working around. And that's what we're doing with Maddie too with her new back injury. So let's see. First day back, feels better this week. Do all the exercise for my workouts that I need to take videos of. Okay, just her thing. Yeah. I told her, yo, send me some fucking videos, please, and thank you, because it's been a while. So we've got our back squat. Let's take a look and see what this looks like. So first off, I don't love the shoes. It's not the end of the world, but ideally we have no foam shoes. So like Converse or barefoot is great. Bar positioning on her back looks good. Everything looks pretty good to get started here. One big thing for Maddie is that she was cutting off her depth before. Now she's getting to the depth that we need. Hip crease, kneecap, same height, thigh or quad, parallel with the floor. This is ideal. I love this. So Maddie, this looks really, really good. Trying to see if there's anything that I don't like a whole lot. And the answer is no, there isn't anything that I hate about this. You're you're a little bit excessive with this thrusting of the hips at the top. Like, you know what? No, you're not. You're fine, Maddie. But definitely set the rack up like you've got the hooks, the J hooks, where you're going to rest the bar behind you. You want to make this in front. You want to unrack and step backwards to get set up. And then when you're done, stepping forward. Because this is just a little bit less safe. You can't see exactly where you're going. You're fatigued. Now you have to walk backwards and, hopefully hit the right spot. And if you're setting it up properly, the truth is these J hooks are low enough that you don't have to like get on your toes to get the bar in there. You just walk backwards. And when you feel the rack smash against the bar, then you just drop the weight down. So yeah, but I'd like to see it in front, a little bit more stable, a little bit safer, better routine with that. But this is overall really good, Maddie. I really like this. We're going to see your form break down more as you increase the load. This load looks good for you, 135. That's a hard rep right there. One thing you just got to keep in mind is, and this is, I can't necessarily see this perfectly right now. That was really good. Like that looked like a really hard rep right there, and you still got another. You had to take an extra breath at the top before you getting that. This is a perfect weight for you in terms of the execution and the intensity. For everyone watching this later, if you don't have this intensity, like this level of effort when you're doing your back squat or any other lifts, you simply aren't getting the most out of this exercise. I'll do this one more time for you guys. That was like her second or third rep. One of these reps looked really challenging. That looked tough. Let's see. That one was tough. This one is a lot tougher, and you would think she's done here. She takes an extra breath and she goes for another rep. That is what your intensity needs to be. If you want to grow, if you want to have a nice butt, if you want to be strong, that is non negotiable. There's a lot of different ways to get fit and healthy, but when it comes to having specific strength goals, like for Maddie, her goal is to be able to squat 185 for one. And she's not as far off as you might think. That's another 25 pounds on each side for one big rep. That's going to be good. She's going to get stronger doing this. You can't will yourself to more strength by doing light weights and high repetitions. It won't work. You'll build fatigue, you'll get tired, you'll get maybe a bit of a pump, you'll get sweaty, and that's good for cardio and overall, maintenance, generally being a fit person, moving your body, always good. Checks the fitness movement of the day box. But if you want to get strong, you have to lift with this intensity at the least. So good job, Maddie. What I was going to say, final note on this is ensure that you are pulling the bar down into your back nice and hard the entire time. A lot of times people forget about that part and they kind of relax their arms just using it for balance on their back. Pull the weight down onto your back, okay? And ensure that you're bracing your core really, really tight. So at the top here, before you do another rep, take that breath into your diaphragm, crunch your ribs down a little bit, and hold that internal pressure inside your stomach. That's going to help you have a stronger core and just make sure that you're doing this safely. Okay, what do we have next? Overhead press. Good. You're bringing the bar down a little bit lower than you need to, which is kind of ironic because we always are emphasizing full range of motion all the time, and that's good. You can bring the bar basically to your, like right here is good. I like to bring it kind of into my collarbone at this spot. So from right here, like You're just going a touch slower than you need to. It's really not the end of the world. Um, we're we oftentimes forget about our setup when we're doing this exercise. It's easy for us to just think this is a shoulder exercise or arm or whatever, upper body. So I just got to push really hard with my arms. And that's true, but it starts with your base. It starts with your feet. So your feet need to be planted hard into the floor, right? Externally rotate the knees the same way that you would if you were doing a squat. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes very hard with this. This will help stabilize your core and your pelvis, and that will help you generate more energy into your shoulders so you can press that weight overhead. But I like the bar path a lot. Watch this bar path. Forget about her body. Don't look at her body. Just look at where the bar is traveling. The bar is straight down and straight back up. There's a little bit of a curve because she has to press it in front of her face so she doesn't smack herself in the bottom of the chin. But that's good. And she's moving her body, her head out of the way when the bar is moving. And as soon as that bar clears her head, watch her head. Her head punches through. Boom, punching her head through, and that bar is now directly over top of her skull. That's perfect. Really good job on that, Maddie. Now, this is a very complicated exercise, doing the single leg landmine Romanian deadlift. Very much a balancing exercise. You're 150%. I know right now we have to swap this out for a little bit, but this, you need, Maddie, to have straps for this. You're going to be lifting a much heavier weight in short time with this exercise. And that part of the barbell is obviously very thick. I personally don't know if I could do more than like a 45 and a 25 on that before my grip would start to fail me with all my sets. I do 115 pounds, not including the bar. So I have two 45s and a 25 when I'm doing this one. And there's no way I'd be able to do that if I was just trying to use my grip because I can't even get my hand all the way around that bar. It's so thick. So get the strap on, strap on your wrist. Hopefully I'm breaking that up with enough commas. Whew. And do it that way so your grip's not the limiting factor because it 100% will be. In terms of the actual lift itself, keep this bar a little bit closer to your shin. Okay. You're doing a good job of keeping your hips balanced. They're parallel with the floor. That's good. And then honestly, with this one, it's really just going to be more time. It's just more time to get this skill. It is a very skillful exercise. It's going to take some time for you to do that. Truly. Okay. So I actually already gave Truly a review on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this right now anyways for anybody else who missed it. She has a little bit of a pop in the knees when she's pressing back up, at least on that first rep. It looks good now. We want to avoid that pop in the knees. And again, this is great. Look at the bar path. It's straight up and straight down, moving her head out of the way and then punching her head through. This is great. The only big feedback that I gave her on this one is look at her elbows at the bottom of this exercise. So at the bottom of this exercise, what we want to do, like see her elbows, they're very relaxed. I want her elbows to be out here. When your elbows are out here, then you're going to be able to use a little bit more of your chest. This is a compound exercise. So we're not trying to isolate anything. We're just trying to lift some big ass weight. Get these elbows out in front of your chest and then press from there. You're stronger there and you're going to have more balance. When the elbows are straight down here, you're not going to feel as stabilized or balanced when you're doing it. And it's forcing your elbows to flare out. So if you can see me real quick, it's forcing your elbows to press from this position. But if you're pressing from this position, it's a more direct path straight up and straight down. You're going to have more power. There's more muscle recruitment. You're going to be stronger. So get those elbows in front of you a little bit. Okay. And then the final one that we're going to look at, if I can get to it here, is going to be Ashley. Ashley sent me these videos personally. I know excuse me. I know she's cool with me doing this. She has sent these videos inside Lift and Learn before. So let's take a look. She's doing a pin squat. Okay, so this is her first time doing this. Pin squat is where you set up the safety bars much higher than what you would normally do. You're not going to full depth with this. And essentially, the intention behind this exercise is to help get stronger at this sticky point in the back squat because oftentimes people don't stop or, they don't fail right at the very bottom of the squat. They're able to get down to the bottom and they're normally able to power through the first quarter of the rep, so the bottom half of it, but then they normally get stuck halfway through. So the intention with this is to set the pins up right around the halfway point in the squat down to those pins, and then explode back up just to get stronger in that one weak spot. Now, she messaged me something about standing on this to just try to get the height right. It doesn't make sense to me, to be super honest, Ashley. You don't want to stand on this pad. This is probably also a little bit softer than the ground. So that means that there's going to be some massive energy leaks. I'm sure when you did this, you felt a little bit less stable and maybe the weight felt a little bit heavier because think about it like a trampoline. Like a trampoline obviously has a lot of give. And when you jump into the trampoline, it's absorbing when it like pulls your weight into the trampoline. It's absorbing that energy that your body is generating when you land on the trampoline. So it's taking all of that force and dispersing it. And that's what this little foamy pad is doing as well, is it's absorbing all of the energy that you're trying to generate when you stand up aggressively. Don't think about like this will help everyone out when it comes to this concept. When you're lifting the weight up in a squat, you're not lifting the weight up, you're pressing the floor down. That's how I want you to envision it. You're going to feel a lot stronger doing that. You're going to feel a lot more stable doing that. And when you are pressing your weight into the ground, you want 100% of that energy that you're generating to go straight into the floor directly beneath you. You don't want it to be absorbed and dispersed throughout the rest of the gym floor because that means that all the power output that you're able to generate is going to be dampened. So we want a hard, flat surface. That's why, same thing that I mentioned earlier with Maddie squatting in her running shoes, the foam in her shoes are absorbing a lot of the force that she's trying to generate into the floor, and that causes a lot of energy leaks. So, for example, like Maddie right now, she's weighed initially when she started at 190 pounds. She's now 154. And if she is loading, 100 pounds, it was more than that, it was 135. But for my simple brain, if she loaded 100 pounds on her back plus her body weight of 154, that's 254 pounds. Now, when she is generating force into the floor, let's imagine that she's able to generate another like 200 pounds of force. So the weight plus her body weight plus the force that she's generating equals 454 pounds that she's generating into the floor. Now, when that floor is softened, you're not generating, even though you're you're generating 450 pounds of force and energy, the floor is only receiving, say, 350 pounds of energy. So we want to be able to utilize 100% of the energy that we're putting into the floor in soft, foamy shoes or anything that's going to absorb that energy is going to dampen that energy that you're able to produce. So long story short, don't stand on the foamy pad here. Just change the height of these pins. And I think that these pins are a little bit, in fact, yeah, no, these pins are a little bit too tall for what we want. This is a little bit above where that sticking spot is going to be. Your sticking spot's probably right here. So if we remove that and these were a touch lower, like right here, that would be ideal. Again, it doesn't need to be at parallel. Like we don't want the pins to be so low that you have to squat to parallel to hit it. What exactly did you say? Hey, for the pin squat, set up differently. Bit higher and sit on the pad for a little extra height, but wanted to check. Yeah, so don't do that. Mute this. Let's go here. Let's take a look at this again. So now you got rid of the pad. Still a little bit. Now that you got rid of the pad, what would happen? You are squatting higher. It's even higher at this point. So I want these pins to be just a touch lower. Let's take a look at the actual technique. I'm sure the technique's great because I've seen your squat before. This is some good weight too, by the way. Yeah, the pins are just a little bit too high. This is probably feeling a little bit easier than it's supposed to. Because that looks like you could put 225. I think you could put two 45-pound plates on each side with that height. Get the height of the pins a little bit lower. Let's see what this one looks like. This looks like it's the right height. This is awesome. That's perfect. Do this one. This one. Yes. Look at her feet. Her feet are so stable. Her feet aren't shifting around. They're not moving. Her toes aren't coming up. Even pressure on the front and back of her foot, everybody. Very, very good squat, actually. Her elbows are straight down in line with her spine. Spine's in a good position. The bar is nice and low on her back. It's not up on her neck. She's pulling the weight down into her back, keeping her chest up nice and tall. Badass. Bad freaking ass, dude. We are going to get strong as shit. Nice job, Ashley. Okay, everybody. That is it for our Form Friday call. Thank you so much for popping in. If you have any questions or concerns about training or fitness, shoot me a message on Instagram at Hinton Nation Coaching, or just search my name up. That's probably easier, Taylor Hinton. You'll see the blue check mark that pops up. I've got some free plans I can send you if you're new. If you're just new to tracking your food, I got a system that'll teach you how to do that properly. It's all free. Or if you want actual one-to-one coaching, then we can chat about that too. That's it for right now. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I'll see you next week.